Hi friends, welcome back to another session of EC Made Easy. We are looking in what a PN junction is, how it is formed. So we know P type of material is created by doping with the trivalent impurities, and N type material is created by doping with pentavalent impurities, and hence P type material has got ample number of holes which can be filled by free electrons, and on the other side we know that N type material has ample number of free electrons, and because of which the N type of material is having a lot of free electrons, and hence the Fermi level of N type material is close to the conduction band, and P type of material is having ample number of holes, and hence the Fermi level of P-type material is close to the valence band. As long as these two materials are separate, there won't be any problem. But when the two materials are fused together to form a junction, yes, the problem starts. One end, that is N type of material, is having higher energy, P type of material is having lower energy, and hence the free electrons which are from N side start to move towards the P side, and thereby N side energy keeps decreasing and P-type energy keeps increasing, because the electrons which are free are because of having extra energy, and with movement of electrons, energy also crosses the junction, and hence N-type of material is reducing in energy, P-type of material is increasing energy, and hence the two Fermi levels keep changing their places. The Fermi level of N-type comes down, Fermi level of P-type moves up. But the property of the material is that N-type material has to be such that the Fermi level should be near the conduction band. P-type material means Fermi level should be near the valence band, and therefore as the Fermi levels keep displacing, the bands also keep displacing, and finally equilibrium is reached when the two end Fermi levels become equal. That's how PN junction energy diagram looks like. This is what we discussed in our previous section. Now, when we start our work, let's assume that our PN junction is at room temperature, and because of the room temperature we have some thermal energy, and because of this thermal agitation there are some free electrons are available, and because of the doping more free electrons are available. Because of thermal agitation, electron hole pairs were created, and hence few holes are also there on the N type, and on the P type, because of the trivalent impurities, a large number of holes are created, and because of thermal agitation, few electron hole pairs were created by breaking the covalent bond, and hence few electrons are found on the conduction band. So what has happened at room temperature? This is the highest energy an electron can have, but if these electrons, if you want to make them cross to the P side, then there is something potential barrier here. And this potential barrier will not allow these electrons to move to the other side. And how can we improve this? Yes, by adding energy to the system. So when you connect this with an external battery, then what would happen is this positive terminal will pull down electrons from this side, and because of which this energy reduces, and this negative terminal pumps some electrons into the N type, and with the electrons definitely energy is also moving, and hence the N type material energy increases. In this way, what happens is this gap reduces, and later when you look at it, the figure may look like this. And when you talk about the Fermi levels, yes, now they are no more equal, and this difference in this Fermi level is because of this external source, because of the energy provided by the external source. And in doing this, as you keep increasing this gap keep increasing, or this keeps moving up and this side keeps moving down, and hence the gap between these two keeps reducing. So in the beginning, this was the highest energy the electron was having, and later that highest energy may move here, and still there is no possibility of electrons to move from this end to this end, because there is still a hill here which will not allow electrons to pass through, and keep increasing this potential. Then at one point this level will reach here, at one point this level will reach here. So these are the electrons we have, and once this reaches here, till then you don't find any flow of electrons possible, till you reach this point, that is this upper level reaches this point. Once you reach this situation, then if you try to increase any further, then it tries to go above this level, which means now it is free to flow. And these electrons will get into p-type material, and because of the attraction by this potential, positive potential here, these electrons get pulled, and they cannot remain in the p-type material because they don't belong to this material, and hence they come out of this. And then these electrons have moved from here to here, so on the n side it is lacking electrons, so it always wants to pull back its electrons back. So this negative potential, negative terminal of the battery pumps the electrons back into this, and that way few electrons start participating in the conduction. So if you want to look at what exactly is happening, let me draw the thing in terms of a graph. So we can keep on talking this forever, but there is no end for it. But if you put that graphically, things become more concrete. So let me use some graph for that. So till the potential is increased, till it reaches this level, you don't find any changes. When the potential applied increases beyond this, then few electrons cross this level and they start contributing to the flow of electrons, which in turn makes a current. So few electrons contribute for current, and therefore a little current is created for this applied voltage. Now if we further increase the voltage, we find two effects here. Number one, as we increase the potential, more electrons cross this level, and hence more electrons will be available for conduction. Number one. Number two, with increase in potential, the velocity of these moving electrons will get accelerated, and hence the velocity will increase, and because of this increase in velocity, the same electron may do multiple rounds around this, and hence will contribute to increase in current. So there are two contributions for increase in current. Number one, because number of electrons participating in conduction increases. Second, velocity of the electrons increase. So because of these two, you find some quadratic effect. And with the next voltage applied, the current flown is so much. Now further increase, this will further increase because of the two effects, increase in electrons as well as increase in velocity, and this continues till this level is made to reach this level. When this level is forced to reach this level, that means all these electrons are available for conduction. And therefore, any further increase in voltage will not increase in number of electrons, and hence one contribution of increase in current is ceased, and only one contribution will continue to increase the current, that is the acceleration and the velocity, and because of which these electrons circle multiple times in a given time, and hence the current keeps increasing, and after that you can find only a linear increase in the current, no more quadratic increase. So to start with, the two levels were equal. There was a gap here, and till this gap is filled by the rise of this level, no current will flow. But when this reaches this level, then few electrons start crossing and hence contribute to a small current. Increase in further voltage will have two effects. One will increase number of electrons to flow, and second, velocity of the electrons will increase, and both these together contribute to increase in current. Therefore, till this level reaches here, the two effects are seen, and hence we find a quadratic component here, so it looks something like a parabolic thing. And once this level is reached here, no more electrons are available to increase for conduction, and hence all electrons which are possible for conduction are participating in conduction, and hence only reason to increase current is the velocity of the electrons moving, and hence the way in which the current changes with respect to V is almost linear. And that's how VI characteristics of a PN junction can be explained. This whole thing, instead of looking as a energy diagram, looking as a p-type, n-type material, you can just imagine this as a barrier where there is a water tank here and we have a barrier here. So if you want to make this water to flow, then there is only one option, is to increase the water level. And how do you increase water level? One way is to increase the bottom of the, elevate the bottom of the lake so that the whole thing gets elevated, or you cut this hill which is not allowing water to flow. Whatever way you feel, you assume that, and because of that, this imbalance we are creating, and because of which if you somehow cut the hill to this level, then this water now can start flowing. The more you cut, the more water is available for flow. But when you cut this hill totally, then all the water is available for flow. Any further cut is not going to increase any more water. So the velocity with which the water flows depends on the pump you are using, and hence depending on the capacity of the pump, the velocity of the water or the pumping capacity decides with what velocity the water is flowing in this system. More water is made available, you can find more water flowing for a capacity. Less water is flowing, and the more is the pump capacity, the faster is the flow, and the more water, more flow, faster flow. So these are analogy we can talk for justifying why the VI characteristics of a PN junction looks like this. So in the first part, here no current is flowing, so the current starts flowing at this point, which we call a cut-in voltage. At cut-in voltage, till then no current will be flowing. After cut-in voltage, current starts flowing, and normally the cut-in voltage for silicon is some 0.5 volts, and for germanium it is some 0.2 volts, and so on. Okay, that's some basic idea about a PN junction. The next journey we get into what a transistor is and three-layer device, and till then take care, bye.